A pleasant evening and a warm welcome to the National News live on Channel I. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
Good evening. I am Lakshita Singha. We start off by taking a look at the top stories for tonight.
Providing wheat flour under a special subsidy for estate workers commences. A power interruption will take place tomorrow only in the southern province. University teachers say they appreciate government efforts to lay a foundation to establish a common law. Successful harvest has been received from many areas using organic and liquid fertilizer. Bioorganic diesel produced using castor seeds. Queen Elizabeth has been infected with COVID-19.
Public Utilities Commission says there can be a power interruption for 1 hour or 1.5 hours tomorrow only for the southern province. Chairman of the Commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, said the time of power interruption will be announced before 12 noon tomorrow. Chairman of the Public Utilities Commission, Janaka Ratnayaka, said that it was possible not to have a power interruption yesterday and today. According to data, a power cut of 4 to 5 hours has been imposed tomorrow. Accordingly, all organizations and political authorities have been informed. It was possible to find the necessary oil and cash reserves. Accordingly, it is possible to prevent a power cut tomorrow. However, there will be a power cut of 1 to 1.5 hours tomorrow in the southern province due to the decrease of water levels in Samanalavawa, Castle Reek and Mausakali reservoirs.
Farmers in the Kurvita Divisional Secretariat area say that they were able to get more harvest by using organic fertilizer and liquid fertilizer. Megasthini and Bendaluwa paddy fields are about 15 acres in extent. Cultivations have been done giving priority for organic fertilizer. National Fertilizer Secretariat, Agrarian Services Centre and Agriculture Department have guided them. A cultivation in Mavanella Divisional Secretariat area has become successful. Farmers say damages due to pests and weeds are at a minimum level. Farmers said that there were no reduction in the harvest after using organic fertilizer. Gunadasa Haputantri, who is a farmer at Walahanduwa Ganegoda area, has received a successful vegetable harvest by using only organic fertilizer and liquid fertilizer. Technical advice has been given by Walahanduwa Agrarian Services Centre.
University teachers say that they appreciate the government's attempt to lay the foundation for a common law based on a concept which has not been implemented in any other country. They mentioned this while taking part to give their views at the Presidential Task Force for One Country, One Law. The Presidential Task Force for One Country, One Law obtained the views of university community yesterday at the BMICH. Deans of faculties, lecturers, professors and intellectuals were representing 18 universities including Colombo, Ruhuna, Jayawardhanapura, Jaffna, North East, Peradeniya, Kalaniya, Rajarata and Vayamba gave their views. Apart from that, lecturers, professors and students expressed their views over Zoom technology. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa established the task force to present a concept paper to implement One Country, One Law concept. A large number of views and proposals have been received from the university community. Chairman of the task force, Venerable Galagoda Atte Gnanasaratthera, said it was a significant movement. The students pointed out that the lack of knowledge on laws is a problem on the path towards One Country, One Law. They requested to correct it through a national education policy. Members of the task force, Professor Shanti Nandana Vijay-Singha, Senior Lecturer Sumedha Viryavardhana, Attorneys at Law Sanjay Marambe, Eranda Navaratna, Pani Vavala, Iresh Seneviratna, Dr. Sujiva Panditratna, Mr. Aziz Nizardeen, Secretary Jeevanti Senanayaka were present on the occasion.
Cultural Saubagya concert and the exhibition was held at the Nelumpokuna Mahinda Rajapaksa Theatre yesterday. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa joined together to experience the cultural concert. The Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, the State Ministry of National Heritage, Performing Arts and Rural Arts Promotion and affiliated institutions organized the program with the objective of safeguarding Sri Lankan pride and cultural identity, strengthening foreign diplomatic relations and promoting unique locations and handing over cultural heritage to the future generations. Sri Lanka has so far signed 48 bilateral agreements on cultural cooperation with 48 countries. Various colorful cultural dance items were performed by the students studying at institutions and centers under the Ministry of Cultural Affairs and at the Janakala Kendra. Speaker Mahinda Pabewardana and Cabinet Ministers, State Ministers and foreign envoys were present at this occasion.
Providing a kilogram of wheat flour for 80 rupees under a special subsidy for estate workers commenced today at Talavakale Madakumuru Estate under the patronage of State Minister Lasantha Alagiyavanna. 115,867 estate families island-wide will get the subsidy. The Finance Ministry, State Housing and Community Development Ministries, Trade Ministry, Cooperative Services and Marketing Development and Consumer Services Protection State Ministry are implementing the program. A group of people, including MP Marudapandi Rameshwaran, were present on the occasion.
Health authorities say if COVID patients get complications, they should immediately seek medical treatment. They said that it is essential to get the booster dose to minimize complications of the disease. Meanwhile, the Government Information Department announced 1,231 COVID patients were found from the country today.
These days, Omicron is spreading very rapidly in the community. So, we all should get the vaccine. If we get the Omicron, we will get all the complications, deaths, ICU requirements and sometimes oxygen, hospital admissions. But if we get the vaccine, especially if we get the Pfizer booster dose, or 12 years plus children, we give 1 dose, 16 years plus children, we give 2 doses, and 20 years plus, we give 3 doses, including the booster dose. So in the developing countries, other developing countries, they don't get even 1 or 2 doses. But developed countries, they are looking for the 4th vaccine, 4th dose. So go for the booster, what we give. If we don't get the booster, we all are prone to spread the infection, get the complication and increase the deaths. If we get the vaccine, we can prevent getting the disease to our children, our elderly people who live in the houses. Especially if we don't get the vaccine, we all are prone to get all the complications of COVID. Especially we should mention, if we get the COVID disease these days, in another 2 weeks to 2 months time, we are prone to get Miss-C disease, especially children. Children are prone to get this Miss-C disease. To prevent Miss-C disease, better to get the vaccine now itself and prevent the disease. In the UK, USA, Australia and other developed countries, children above 5 years get the vaccine. They are asking for a vaccine for the children below 5 years as well. So don't go behind myths and try to get the vaccine which is given after 12 years. In the future, we will try to give the vaccine the children above 5 years.
A total of 37,389,300 vaccine doses have been inoculated to the people in the country under the COVID-19 immunization program. Accordingly, 16,847,116 persons have received the first dose of the vaccine, while 14,079,398 have received both the doses. A total of 6,462,786 have received the booster dose thus far. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 25 COVID-19 related deaths which occurred yesterday. 13 out of them are 60 and above 60 years. 12 of them are between the ages of 30 and 59 years.
On the global update of the pandemic, Queen Elizabeth has tested positive for COVID-19 on Sunday and is experiencing mild cold-like symptoms, Buckingham Palace confirmed. The palace said the 95-year-old British monarch will continue with light duties at Windsor Castle over the coming week. UK media have reported that the Queen is fully vaccinated. Buckingham Palace previously confirmed both the monarch and her late husband, Prince Philip, had received their first doses of COVID-19 vaccine in January 2021. The Queen is not the only person in her circle to test positive for COVID-19. As per the reports, the Queen's health has been closely scrutinized since late last year when she retreated from public events on advice from doctors to rest after an overnight hospital stay for an undisclosed reason. The British government has confirmed that people with COVID-19 will not be legally required to self-isolate starting next week as part of the government's plan for living with COVID. However, several government scientific advisors has recognized this as a risky move that could bring a surge in infections and weaken the country's defenses against more virulent future strains. Meanwhile, Prime Minister of Australia Scott Morrison has said that the country will welcome international tourists tomorrow after nearly 2 years of sealing its borders. Australia's opening to tourists is a reflection of the government's shift from a strict zero-COVID approach to living with the virus and vaccinating the public to minimize deaths and several illnesses. Brazil has registered 851 COVID-19 deaths and 108,725 additional cases during the past 24 hours. Though the lethality of the current wave is much lower than previous waves due to relatively high vaccination rates, Brazil has experienced a severe spike in COVID-19 cases in recent weeks due to the Omicron variant of the coronavirus.
Chief Prelate of Deniyapitiya Sri Ganga Tilaka Temple, Venerable Madavatte Soratha Thera, has been conferred with Wimala Kirti Sri Vijita honorary title. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa attended the ceremony yesterday to present the scroll related to the appointment as Assistant Chief Sanganayaka of Southern Province. The scroll was presented at the Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha Uposathagaraya at Kotte Rajamahaviharaya. Mahanayaka of Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dharma Mahasangha Sabha, Chancellor of Sri Jayawardhanapura University, Venerable Dr. Ittapane Dhammalankara Thera, handed over the document to Venerable Soratha Thera. Vijanipatha was presented by Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena. The Prime Minister offered Atapirikara and a memento to Venerable Soratha Thera. Media Minister Dala Salaha Peruma also offered Atapirikara to Venerable Madavatte Soratha Thera. A group of people, including the Mahasangha, were present on the occasion.
The President's Media Division has announced that several structural changes are being made to make services of the Presidential Secretariat more efficient. Steps have been taken to make the changes with the appointment of Mr. Gamini Senarath to the post of President's Secretary. New officials have been appointed to the units which directly provide services to the people, including the President's Fund and Public Relations Division. The President's Media Unit has pointed out that certain social media are trying to misinterpret using names of persons to the administrative changes with the appointment of a new President's Secretary. The President's Media Division said those are totally false.
Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Women's Bala Mandala meetings are taking place at present. It is reported that large groups are attending the meetings, which are held at electoral seat level. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Kundasala Women's Bala Mandala meeting took place yesterday at Manikina town under the patronage of Minister Keheliya Rambukwella. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Walapane seat Women's Bala Mandala meeting was held under the patronage of Ministers C.B. Ratnayaka and Pavitra Vanyarache. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Polonnaruwa seat Women's Bala Mandala meeting was held recently with the participation of a large number of female members. Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna North Andiya seat Women's Bala Mandala meeting was held yesterday under the patronage of parliamentarians Ashoka Priyantha and Upul Rajapaksa.
Dr. Dulan Samaravira of Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital says that bioorganic diesel can be produced using castor seeds. He said that vehicles can be operated using those biofuel. Dr. Dulan Samaravira has been able to drive vehicles using biofuel produced with castor seeds as a solution to the prevailing fuel and energy crisis. He has disclosed getting oil using castor seeds for the first time in 2007. With the prevailing fuel and energy crisis, he has used those oil for vehicles. He said that 50 to 60% of the castor seed weight includes oil. He pointed out that it is possible to get oil at a low price using castor seeds. A 1 acre of castor seeds can produce about 1,000 litres of fuel. A litre will cost about 70 rupees. It is possible to use bioorganic diesel for diesel vehicles without making any changes in the engines.
Media Minister Dallas Alahappiruma says that true commemoration of Vijaya Kumaratunga is understanding the value of unity of democratic forces. He mentioned this while attending the 34th Vijaya Kumaratunga commemoration at the Kurunagala Urban Council Hall yesterday. The keynote address of the commemoration ceremony was delivered by the Media Minister. The book Vijaya Cinema Vedya Saha Deshapalanya, written by Amara Sisil Sampath, was launched on the occasion. A group of people, including Ministers Vasudeva Nanayakkara, Namal Rajapaksa, parliamentarians, Professor Tissa Vitarana, Shanta Bandara, Asanka Navaratna and Dr. Charita Herath were present on the occasion. Minister Dallas Alahappiruma said that Vijaya Kumaratunga openly helped the provincial councils established after the Indo-Lanka agreement. The people who criticized that later accepted the provincial councils. Vijay went to the northern province to meet the armed groups. Then the southern groups criticized it. They were afraid of it. Innocent, unarmed Vijay Kumaratunga rose among armed youth groups in the north and south without thinking political consequences. From that, he expected the unity of leftists and democratic forces. When it was selected, the country moved forward always. Vijaya Kumaratunga or Mahinda Rajapaksa did not think about statistical value when it comes to leftist and democratic forces unity. Vijaya thought only about qualitative value. Mahinda Rajapaksa also thought only about its qualitative value. A presidential election has proved that value of the quantity changed the history of the country more than the statistical value.
Several development projects at Anuradhapura sacred area were vested with the public yesterday for the convenience of the devotees. It is being implemented under Town Beautification Program. Sri Mahabodhi East Vehicle Park was vested with the people yesterday under the patronage of State Minister Nalaka Godaheva. Devotees who are coming to worship on Anuradhapura Jaya Sri Mahabodhi will be able to park their vehicles there. Chief Prelate of Attamastha Nayaka Venerable Pallegama Sri Vasathera, Chief Monk of Ruwanvali Chaitya Ramaya Venerable Pallegama Hemaratna Thera and a group of parliamentarians were present on the occasion. Samadhi Arana, new trade stores built methodically for instead or improper trade stores by the sides of the Anuradhapura Samadhi Statue Park were vested with the people yesterday under the patronage of State Minister Nalaka Godaheva. 35 million rupees have been spent to build the new trade stores. The public square in front of Anuradhapura Central Railway Station was vested with the public. 50 million rupees have been spent on the project. A group of people including Minister S.M. Chandrasena and State Minister Shehan Semasinghe were present on the occasion. A relic covered with a crystal plate has been found during the excavation of Anula Devi Saya at Anuradhapura Historic Archaeological Area. Excavation of Anula Devi Saya commenced in December under the supervision of the Archaeology Department. Chief Prelate of Mihintala Rajamahawihara, Venerable Dr. Valavangunavave Dharmaratna Thera said that the relic has been sent to decide the time period. Several items of various shapes of archaeological value made out of clay were found during the excavations. The history has recorded that about 500 women, including Anula Devi, ordained as bhikkhunis after the arrival of Sangamita Theraniya in the island.
Chief Sanganayaka of the Southern Province, Venerable Omare Hemaloka Nayaka Thera, passed away yesterday at the age of 88 years. He was a former principal of Katamanda North School and rendered many services to the Buddha Sasana and society. Late Venerable Omare Hemaloka Nayaka Thera was also the chief prelate of Lalpe Sudharma Ramaya. The religious rituals are scheduled to be held at Hakmana Polkiripitiya Pemasiri Buddhist Dharmayatanaya at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And that's all the stories for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.